Ever wondered how Ayanokoji Kiyotaka from Classroom of the Elite stays calm under pressure and always seems to know the right answer, even when it looks like he's not trying? What if I told you that his secret isn't superhuman intelligence, but mastering efficiency and focus? In today's video, we're breaking down how you can study like Ayanokoji, using strategies that will transform your approach to learning. Let's dive in. Ayanokoji is a master of something that's often overlooked: understated focus. He doesn't draw attention to himself, but he's always absorbing information. This is one of the first lessons to learn from him. You don't need to be loud or flashy when you study. In fact, the less you distract yourself with unnecessary noise, the more efficiently your brain will process information. The key here is to focus quietly, deliberately. Create a space where you can work without distractions. If you're constantly multitasking, your brain isn't fully committing to anything. Ayanokoji zones in on what's important, whether it's a task at hand or just absorbing his environment. You can do the same by eliminating distractions when you study. Silence your phone, turn off unnecessary tabs, and just focus. Here's the thing about Ayanokoji. He doesn't aim for perfection in every little detail. He knows that trying to be perfect in everything wastes time. Instead, he studies with precision. This means that when he's learning something, he focuses only on the essentials, the core ideas that really matter. Ayanokoji would rather master the key concepts than memorize every fact. You should too. When you're studying, ask yourself, what's the most important information here? What will have the biggest impact on my understanding or my performance? Focus on understanding these key concepts first before worrying about the minor details. In school, most tests are designed to evaluate your grasp of the big ideas, not every tiny fact. Micro goals. Master one task at a time. One of Ayanokoji's lesser-known strategies is his ability to break down large tasks into small, manageable goals. He doesn't tackle everything at once. He breaks it into smaller chunks and systematically works through them. In the same way, when you're studying, break your session into micro goals. Don't just say, "I'm going to study for 3 hours." That's too vague. Instead, break it down. I'm going to spend 30 minutes on this chapter, then review key points, and then test myself. By setting small, clear objectives, you make the entire process more manageable and less overwhelming. Remember, the brain likes short bursts of focus. Working in smaller chunks is more efficient than trying to grind through hours of study without a plan. Ayanokoji never looks stressed out, even when the pressure's high. That's not because he's emotionless, but because he's mastered staying calm under pressure. In high-stakes situations, whether it's exams or competitions, staying calm is often more valuable than knowing every single detail. How does he do it? He understands the value of preparation. The more prepared you are, the less there is to be anxious about. But it's not just about studying harder. It's about studying smarter. He trusts his preparation, which allows him to stay cool when it matters. For you, this means building a solid study routine that doesn't overload you the night before a test. Start early, plan ahead, and when the big day comes, trust that you've done the work. Efficiency and time management. Ayanokoji doesn't waste time on unnecessary tasks. Whether it's in conversation or class, he's always making the most of the time he has. This is one of the biggest takeaways for your studies. Efficiency is everything. What can you cut out of your study routine that's slowing you down? Is it scrolling through social media between every topic? Is it spending too long on something that's not important for your test? Trim the fat from your study habits and focus only on what moves you forward. This doesn't mean you have to study nonstop. In fact, breaks are important, but they should be structured. Ayanokoji would never waste time on mindless distractions when there's something more important to do. Ayanokoji is a master at adapting to his environment. He observes before he acts, and this applies to how he learns as well. When you're studying, don't stick to the same routine if it's not working for you. Sometimes, a change in environment can drastically improve your focus. If your current study spot isn't helping, try moving to a quieter place. Or, if you need a bit of background noise, switch it up with some calming music or a coffee shop. The key is to be flexible. Ayanokoji would never stick to a method that isn't efficient just because it's familiar. Adapt your study strategies to suit what works best for you in the moment. Apply knowledge. Don't just memorize. Another thing Ayanokoji teaches us is the importance of applying knowledge strategically. He doesn't just learn things for the sake of learning. He uses them when it benefits him most. You should think about your studies in the same way. Instead of cramming in facts that you won't remember later, focus on applying the knowledge you learn. Test yourself, quiz your friends, or teach someone else. The more you actively use the information, the better it sticks. Ayanokoji uses what he learns to stay ahead, and that's what you should aim for too. Ayanokoji's strengths is his ability to detach himself emotionally from stressful situations. While everyone else gets worked up, he remains composed. This mindset is crucial for studying. The more emotionally attached you are to the outcome, the more stress can build up and negatively affect your performance. When you're studying, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Focus on the process, not just the result. Stressing about how well you'll do often leads to overthinking and burnout. Instead, stay detached. Do your best and let the results follow naturally. Reflection equals growth. One of Koji's most underrated tactics is reflection. After every challenge or interaction, he reflects on what worked and what didn't. This is key for mastering efficiency in your studies. After each study session, take a few minutes to think about what you did right and where you could improve. Maybe you wasted time on a section that didn't matter. Maybe you realized that certain techniques helped you remember better. Reflect on these things and make adjustments for next time. Constant refinement is how Ayanokoji stays ahead, and it's how you can improve your study habits. Ayanokoji shows us that studying efficiently isn't about raw intelligence. It's about strategy. By focusing on key concepts, managing time wisely, staying calm, and constantly adapting, you can study smarter and achieve more. Remember, the goal isn't just to learn. It's to apply that knowledge in the most effective way possible. So the next time you sit down to study, ask yourself, how would Ayanokoji do it? Be elite. Stay elite.